What up, fans? It's Thursday morning, March 26th. This is my 47th day on the island of San Pedro in Belize. As of this morning, there are over 470,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus throughout the world. By the end of this day, maybe by the end of this video, that number will already be over 500,000. At approximately 1 p.m. today, the 72-hour lockdown that was enforced on the entire island will be lifted. Businesses will be allowed to open. Residents and travelers will be allowed to go into shops, walk around the city, go back into the ocean. But for the next 30 days, the island is going to continue to stay in a state of emergency. Earlier this week, San Pedro confirmed its first case of coronavirus in the country and on the island. And just yesterday, it was revealed that a woman that was very close to the first patient actually has coronavirus as well. So the public health officials, doctors here on the island have essentially mapped out the path of the carrier, and they've determined that there's not a widespread risk for any others to get infected. But for the next 30 days, no one is coming to the island, no one is getting off the island. Normally, travel to the smaller island of Keycocker is really popular. Keycocker has shut their doors to all tourists. There'll be no ferries going back and forth. And as far as I know, we may not be able to get back to the mainland of Belize for at least 30 more days. Once the lockdown ends at 1 p.m., I'm going to take you guys into town. I've got to stock up on some more non-perishable goods. I definitely need some groceries. No one knows how long this thing is going to last here. Obviously, wherever you are in the world, you have no idea either. But because this is a very small island, the amount of supplies, water, food is essentially finite. So I kind of have to do everything in my power to make sure I have enough food here to last me what could be 1 to 2 months. Even though I've been under lockdown for just under 3 days, I still really miss a lot of my favorite street food vendors, a lot of the favorite restaurants that I go to on an almost daily basis. And almost more than anything, I'm looking forward to getting back and supporting the community, supporting the economy here, supporting the people, the small business owners. Tourism has essentially completely vanished from the island. Walking down the streets, walking along the beach, this island is a complete ghost town. I can't even begin to describe the discrepancy between how things were just 2 weeks ago here when the hostel was at full capacity, resorts were sold out, you had to get reservations at restaurants, to now where essentially so many businesses have closed. I can walk around most of the day, not see a single other tourist or anyone that even looks like me. The island has essentially been abandoned except for those that live here, and then just a few brave travelers like myself who've decided to stick it out and feel that San Pedro is honestly one of the safest places in the world to be. The entire economy of San Pedro hinges on tourism, and this is the peak busy season. The ramifications of the coronavirus and the complete disappearance of tourism are really going to have tragic and drastic effects on the local economy here. While I feel relatively safe at this hostel in this location, we're actually just a few blocks away from the police department on the island, I am worried for how people will react to having zero money coming in. There's a lot of people on this island who are like hustlers, drug dealers, common thieves, and there's two major gangs, and I really am concerned about what they're going to do essentially when the money stops coming in. I think human history will tell us that often people will turn desperate, they'll turn to crime, they'll turn to theft. So I'm going to be even more cautious than I already am. I don't think I'm planning to go out at night at all. Not that there is anywhere to go at night. All the bars and clubs have been closed. I think restaurants are going to open, but I think only for takeout only. Not quite sure the particulars. Going to get you guys more of an update on that once the curfew at 1 p.m. breaks and we can go back out and see what's really going on in the city. But going forward, going to be extremely cautious, very humble, and very weary of everyone and everything going on around me. In the days leading up to the 72-hour lockdown, essentially when things on the island got really slow, I spent a lot of time talking to shop owners, restaurateurs, and just other business owners around the island. And in virtually all of my conversations, the tone was extremely somber. You could see the uncertainty in their eyes. I'm not sure if the people here are more afraid of the virus or if they're more afraid of the complete economic disaster that's going to follow when tourism essentially stops on the island. It's mid-March, we are right in the middle of spring break. The Easter holidays are coming up next month, and this is the time of year that the people of San Pedro bank on to ensure they're going to have enough money to survive the rest of the year until next year's high season. When the lockdown was first announced and we all had about 3 hours to get to the store and get our stuff before the doors closed, just walking around town, the looks the locals were giving me were a mix of like astonishment, bewilderment, a lot of staring. I think they're definitely surprised that there's still a tourist here considering everything that's gone on. During my first month and a half here, I've been very fortunate to make a lot of local friends. Unfortunately, with the lockdown, most of them have either gone to their homes farther away, and actually many have retreated to the mainland to go stay with their parents until all this blows over. So while my initial time here was being spent surrounded by great people, great travelers visiting from all over the countries, going in and out of the hostel, and also an amazing local support system of friends, now all of that has kind of washed away and we're all slowly embracing the isolationism that this new world and this virus has brought to us. So the hostel I'm staying at right now, there's maybe only 3 guests total. Kind of a hodgepodge of people from all over the world. Yeah, hard to put into words how different things were 3 weeks ago compared to how they are now. But despite the world crumbling in front of us and perhaps human history's greatest challenge as a collective whole, as an entire world of people, I'm feeling quite positive. I'm not an epidemiologist or anything like that. Shockingly, I'm not even a doctor, nor am I a doctor in training. But I do feel that in roughly 3 months, hopefully we can all look back on this. The virus will have run its course. Summertime throughout the world will be in full swing. People will essentially be getting back to normal, but for all that to happen, obviously, we all need to just stay the F inside, not go out, not congregate. I'm doing my best to avoid people. Sure, there's a few hostile guests that I chat up with, things like that, but I am maintaining my distance. I'm not in a rush to shake anyone's hand or give a hug. And even when going to the grocery store, I'm trying to keep an aisle just to myself and avoid everybody else, because as scared as you might be of the virus, there's a lot of people out there who are a lot older and much more fearful and certainly much more at risk. So while you're looking out for yourself, make sure to look out for those people too. And while information seems to be changing every day, we can almost all bet that the international airport here is going to be closed until at least May 4th. So that means I'm not getting off the island anytime soon. There may be an opportunity for me to take a ferry and go explore the mainland, check out places like San Ignacio, Hopkins, Placentia, cities I didn't make it to during my initial trip in Belize. But with San Pedro locked down for the next 30 days, that's certainly not happening anytime soon. For me, the 72-hour lockdown actually wasn't that bad. The hostel grounds are pretty big enough where I can go some places and chill if I don't want to be around people. They've got a great pool here. I've been working like an absolute madman maniac on a lot of video projects, also catching up on a lot of Netflix, playing a few video games here and there. But for me, the worst part of the lockdown was not being able to swim. Even though the beach, the ocean, is just a few feet away from the hostel doors, the police advised everybody not to leave their premises at all. So as much as I want to swim, I can wait just a few more hours to finally dip my toes back in the water. Okay guys, just got a big piece of breaking news. Apparently the lockdown is not quite being lifted. Grocery stores are only going to be able to operate from 6, 7 in the morning to 10 in the morning. And get this, the island has essentially banned all alcohol sales. Now this is an island that loves to drink, so really have no idea how the people of the island are going to react to that. But if any grocery store, any bar is caught selling any alcohol, they're going to lose their license. There might be jail time. On top of that, they're also banning anyone from fishing. If you have a boat, you can't even get on your boat here. They're going to arrest you. They're going to threaten to take your captain's license. I don't know what that means for me. Apparently, they've been telling people walking their dogs along the beach that they need to stay inside their homes and it's not advised. So I think there's also a mix of, what we're hearing from the government, what people are telling us on a local level here. A lot of confusion. I'm going to do my best. to try to clear it up. Just the thought of having to stay here for like 30 more days and not be able to swim is going to slowly kill me inside, as spoiled as that sounds. But one of the reasons I stayed on this island, stayed in Belize, was to at least have some sort of outlet away from being trapped indoors or being trapped in the cold back home like in Minnesota, or just stuck in the concrete jungle. So that's where we're at. I don't think I'm going to get to the store now, since it's probably not going to open at 1 p.m. So I guess we'll end the video there, and stay tuned. Can't wait to update you guys on what happens next. Ciao for now.